first full year under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Mark, with a limited transfer budget. What are the genuine targets for United? What's a reasonable ambition for them this season, do you think?
Well, as ridiculous as it sounds, being in the top four will be a success because they're out of the Champions League right now.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say they're going to compete for the title. I think that's an absolute non-starter. There's too big a gap to close, and they haven't got the squad, they haven't got the players. Europa League, I suppose they could challenge for the Europa League, but again, it's a long slow to the Europa League final. So I just think, to be honest, I think to get through the season without sacking the manager is a good target for United because they've had so much instability. But like Craig says, he's not an elite manager, and he knows the club and he's a club legend. But if you're a top class player, you want to be improved by a coach. And you look at Liverpool, they got Klopp, City got Guardiola, Tottenham got Pochettino. They make players better. They inspire players. I don't see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or his coaching staff, with all due respect to Kieran McKenna, Michael Carrick, Mike Phelan, are the players that are going to make Marcus Rashford a world beater or that's going to make Luke Shaw the best left back in the world. I think there's a problem in terms of the coaching staff that, is it the best that United could get? It isn't.
Are they now in worse shape than they were in the summer of 2013 after Ferguson stepped aside and Moyes was coming in? Are they worse off now?
Well, yeah, because they were Premier League champions at that point with a lot of players who'd won things, and they had a dressing room full of players who'd won things. And the mistake then was appointing David Moyes at the time when the job was too big for him. And I think Ed Woodward's first season as a chief exec, so they had two people in key positions that were. David Moyes wasn't a novice, but at a club at that level, they just weren't prepared for the club. So they're in a much worse position now, I think, because 6 years on, they've got an inferior squad, and it seems that the ambition they showed in those first couple of years, post-Fergie, of spending big money, have diminished. So you have to question whether the owners, the Glazer family, are they looking at the asset now and thinking, we're going to have to start spending more money, and is it worth it? Are they preparing to sell? That a lot of people in Manchester think that the ground hasn't been touched for 10 years. They haven't spent any money on Old Trafford. They've now stopped spending big money on players. £75 million last summer. Nothing in the January window. They sold Fellaini, don't forget, for £10 million. So are they now beginning to think, why continue to spend money? Because it's going to take too much to get United back to where they need to be.
It's funny you say that. I was listening to a UK radio station on the way in today to work, and somebody made that point, and I didn't spring to mind to even think about this. He said the stadium needs updated.
Yeah. You don't even start to think.
I just remember from going there, from playing there and from broadcasting there a few years ago, it just looked like you just think it's a modern stadium, but it's actually older than.
It's a theatre of dreams. You can't need anything.
So it needs. So it's not the team needs updated. The stadium needs updated. It's a heck of a big job.
I mean, I think that's a ridiculous thing. We're talking about Manchester United here, and every Manchester United fan right now will bite your hand off for a top four finish.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're talking about Manchester United in the same terms that we've been talking about Arsenal for the last 6 or 7 years, and at least they could boast a new stadium. And you just wonder, where do Manchester United go from here? And at the very least, Arsenal, as I say, have a new stadium and have a coach with a reputation who could at least draw talent to that club and through their doors, where you don't feel the same about Solskjaer.
I personally don't think with the Glazers in charge, this conversation will go away. I was going to ask you, Mark, how realistic is it that situation changes and the Glazers sell? Is that at all a possibility?
I mean, over the years, there's always been suggestions that there might be interest from the Middle East. There was rumours of Qatari interest in maybe 2010, 2011, and obviously the green and gold movement created a lot of noise, but didn't shift them out of the way. But at that point, they were winning things. They were competing for Champions League titles and finals. They had Ronaldo. They had Rooney. I just think now, there is talk of interest from Saudi Arabia, which is that what Man United fans want? Who knows? But the Glazers sporting franchise in the US, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, haven't won anything for quite a long time. They're not a group of owners that you think the first objective is to win. You look at Man City, you look at Liverpool, even Chelsea. That their owners want to win. I think the Man United owners primarily want to make money, and if they win as well, that's great. But the decisions they make don't strike me as decisions that are built around winning. And we talk about the ground. When they played Man City in the derby, I think it was in April, it was a bad day in Manchester, it was raining, and the roof was leaking. It was almost like a metaphor for the state of the two clubs. The Old Trafford roof was leaking, it was dripping in water, and it just summed up the lack of investment
remember
on and off the pitch. And City have taken it onto a new level. Liverpool are an example, because 4 years ago when Brendan Rodgers left, they were in a similar position, but they've turned it around. But their owners have been smart, and they've been strategic in getting the right people in. I don't think United have.